Welcome to Outlaw Woodworking. Today I'm going to show you how I made this little cutting board with an epoxy inlay of a deer, and it was really simple. Anyway, let's get started. The first thing I do is take some material that I glued up the day before and run it through my DeWalt planer. And this planer will do up to, I think, 13 inches wide. It does a pretty good job. Once I get it surfaced, I take my calipers and I mark down the thickness, the length, and the width and get exact numbers. Okay, now that I've planed my material, I've checked the dimensions accurately. I've drawn this little cleaver, meat cleaver, and I put this deer in it. Now what we need to do, because we're going to do another epoxy inlay, we're going to go over here to Tools. The first thing we do is let's put our deer in there first. So we'll highlight the deer. We're going to do a V-carve. And we want to start depth of 0, no clearance tool. And we're going to use a 1502 from Whiteside. And let's calculate. And let's preview. And looks like we didn't go through the material, so that's good. Okay, reset the preview. Go back to our 2D, and now, okay, we need to group these together. Group objects, okay. Okay, now we need to do another toolpath to cut this thing out. So we're going to do a profile toolpath. And let's see, cut depth. We need to have our same cut depth. So our cut depth was 0.6895. And actually, let's make it 0.6897, so it cuts right through. And we're going to put tabs. So we'll go down here to tabs, and we'll hit add tabs, and add tabs. And you can see it puts them quite a bit. I don't really want them in this middle, so let's get rid of that one. Oops. Add tabs. Let's start that again. And I want to use a different bit. I want to use a RU2075. RU2075, there it is. And hit select. Put the bit number in here. Okay. We need to go and join those, except that one's not joined. So we need to go back. Okay. All right, now that we got them all joined, now we also want to put holes in here. Actually, do I? No. Let's not put a hole in there. Okay, so now we're going to do our profile toolpath. It didn't save our bit. So we'll go back over. Actually, this bit, 46433, that's the new bit that I bought from Amana. Let's try that out. So we want to go ahead and add tabs. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Okay. We'll close that. And we'll write down the bit, which is 46433, and calculate. Oh, it didn't save my, hold on, cancel that. It didn't save my thickness. You really got to be on the ball. 0.6897. And there's our cutout. Let's preview it. And you can see right there, it leaves a tab there and a tab there. That's perfect. Let's give this a try. Okay, we'll close that. Highlight our toolpath, and we will save it to a disk. Okay, I'll see you over at the machine. Right off the bat, I warm up the spindle. I do the homing sequence. I then do the XYZ with the touch plate. I then run the program. Once I get the V-carve done, I get out my epoxy, and I'm going to do a green color. I thought that would go good with the brown, with the walnut and the maple. And this is a 1-to-1 mixture, and I'm using super clear epoxy. And I'm also using black diamond pigments, and also another kind of liquid pigment. I like the black diamond powder the best. It has the kind of coolest color. I then get it all poured out. I torch the air bubbles, and then the next day I get out my sander. Because this was a thin piece of wood, you know, it's only 3/4 inch thick, I didn't really want to surface it and make it real small, so I just took a sander and I started out with some 80 grit and sanded away the excess epoxy. I then switched to 200 grit and then 600 grit. I then draw out the drawing. It's going to be a meat cleaver. And I decided not to run this part on the machine. I would just cut it out on my bandsaw. So I draw what I think it should look like, take it over to the bandsaw, and cut it out. The bandsaw I'm using is a Grizzly, and it's been a good bandsaw. I got a carbide blade on it that's been doing really well. After I get it all cut out, I take my Porter cable little half round and go around both the front and the back of it. After I get it all cleaned up, I coat it with walrus oil, and that's what it looks like right there. I think it turned out pretty nice. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and I will see you next time. Later.